Hey guys, I'm here with Sarah Brinkman, and she's going to give us a little behind-the-scenes breeding work today. So first, I'll let Sarah introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Sarah. No, I'm Sarah Brinkman from the Pitzer Ranch, and we're up here in our breeding facility today, and I'm just kind of showing Amry what we do on a daily basis. It is the day of our sale, basically. Today's our preview, and we came up to give some shots to some mares that I've been timing up their cycles to breed right after the sale. So I don't want them doing it during the sale. So I'm kind of timing them, and she's just going to come along, and we're going to give some shots and talk a little about the AI and freezing and different things that we do up here, and just how we do it here in our breeding operation at the ranch.
Yeah. So. Well, thank you. Yeah. And we're going to tag along when Sarah does some work. So let's go. So what are you guys doing this morning?
So this morning we are going to do some Lutalyse shots on these mares that we've been giving Regumate to. We're trying to kind of synchronize their cycles up to where I can breed them with frozen right after the horse sale. So we will give them their Lutalyse shot today and then start breeding them hopefully Tuesday, Wednesday-ish, depending on the mare. But
so the reason for the shot, is it because it's too cold to cycle right now?
No, most of these mares are kind of in transition. It's just that we're breeding them with frozen, so you just want to be a little bit more timed up with their cycle with the time of ovulation, just better chance of them getting pregnant, and less times that you have to go in with the frozen semen, which can kind of sometimes make the uterus mad. So it's nice to just go in there one time if you can.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll come out here.
And you guys have, this place is like a year or two old
now?
Yeah,
so we built this facility, 2 years ago now? We had the old original breeding barn, but it was getting a little, we had some weather, 2 springs ago, a little kind of tornado came through, and the whole chunk on that side was missing, so we had to do a little upgrade.
Yeah, and it's nice now.
Yeah, so this is a little bit better than what we had. Thank you. So yeah, it was much needed. It was time.
So is this where a lot of the breeding work is done?
Yeah, so this is where we do all the breeding. So like I said, these 15 mares I've been timing up. They've been on Regumate for the past 10 days. Now we'll give them their shot, and then hopefully the goal is to breed them right after the sale. So I didn't want them to cycle during the sale.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Oh.
What do you need now, Sarah?
Oh, I just need a little cotton and some alcohol. That is it.
Are all the mares pretty easy like this in the stocks? They kind of know the drill now?
Paulo has been giving them Regumate every morning. So this is Paulo. He's my Regumate guy. So he has been, they're pretty happy with it. They've been coming in every day. I don't know that they'll be happy with shots, but they're pretty happy with the process of coming in the barn and coming in the stocks and getting fed. Paulo, would you go grab me a needle for this?
Sorry.
Please. Maybe a couple. So yeah, but they're getting okay with it now. So a lot of these, well, not a lot of them, but several of these are going to be bred with frozen to that metallic Casanova stud that we have that's new. This will be his first, I'm sorry, we bred a few to him with frozen last year. This will be the first physical breeding season here at the ranch. So we're kind of excited about him. So a lot of these are getting bred with frozen to him because he's not here yet. We won't get him until right after the horse sale.
Oh.
So they are like, let's see here. This is an old riding mare. This is a mare we flushed a bunch of embryos out of, along with the dun mare, wherever she's at. Oh, down at the end. The black mare is an old cutting mare. That's an old riding mare. You know, several of these are mares that we have shown or rode that maybe we flushed embryos out of this year, and then we're going to try to breed them with frozen this year to Casanova. So they're a lot of riding mares in this section.
And mostly personal ranch mares?
Yeah, most of these are all ranch mares.
Okay.
Actually, all of these are either dad or I's mares.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yep. They,
I can see the numbers a little bit now, but
Yeah.
they're a little hairy still.
yep.
They probably like coming in here with the weather that happened
Yeah,
last night.
it's not very nice out. We were out checking mares this morning. Luckily, we only had a couple babies, but they're doing fine with this cold south wind and rain. It's kind of misty and not the most pleasant weather.
You can say Pitzer horses are going to be tough.
Yes, they, we foal just out in this right now. They get used to it, I guess. Sometimes we have to get them in. We have a little cart, we get them in if we have to, which is good.
Does it matter where this shot is given?
We just do it here in their butt. Ready, Colin? Oh. Here, Paula, you can do some.
Easy enough.
Yeah. Here,
Heck yeah.
two cc's. In the muscle.
So do you think that AI is going to, with frozen semen, is going to take over all other breeding? Or
No,
there's just a place
the biggest
for it?
thing for us is these are mares that we want to get done. So we don't want a full bunch in March here in Nebraska. So these 15, we have the capability. They're either gentle enough that we can get them in the barn if the weather is bad, or, have the barn capacity to get them in if we have to. But we can't do that with 400 heads. So the rest are going natural. So, we're not obviously going to do this whole process. We couldn't physically get all these in and regumate them every morning,
Yeah. Okay.
with that volume. So,
And so the typical breeding cycle or breeding season for Pitzers is
May 10th through end of July,
Okay.
which is later than the Southerners for sure.
Because you want babies born when it's warm.
Yes. Which one did you do? Poppy. So yeah, it's ooh, it's a little bit of timing. Like I said, we don't want to be full in here in March because they'll die, and we just try to time it up. Well, hello, Paisley. How are you? Yeah. Yep.
You're good.
We're just going to put them in here for now. Make sure all that's shut up, I guess. Where my lid went. Oh, here it is.
So when the barn was built, are these new stocks or were these?
So yeah, we built these
These are
first,
nice.
and then this set second. So
Oh, I see.
in July, when we break all the baby colts to lead, we'll run 2 sets. So we can do 8 at a time,
Oh,
because
okay.
we'll do like a mare and a baby next to each
Okay.
other. And then we'll vaccinate them and clip their hair and do all that. And then we let them out into this area, and then that's where we'll break them to lead. So it's kind of crazy because there'll be, 10 of us out here with the babies, and they're all getting broke to lead at once. But it works good.
Yeah.
So this is kind of all new. We've built it. And there's still, I'm getting my little breeding area over here. We just put those stocks in a little breeding stock there for my frozen semen collection, because I'm freezing semen on the studs now.
Okay.
So
That was one of my questions. Are you guys
Yes.
collecting?
So
and
I'm
freezing?
collecting and freezing now.
And
this
is that
the
new?
first year that we've done that.
Okay.
So we're taking everything down south before this, but it's just not economically feasible.
Okay.
So we're doing
So
it here now.
before, would you guys collect and do cooled semen?
No, we don't do any cooled here.
Okay.
Our male is not reliable enough to do
okay.
cooled. We just primarily do frozen. It's just a little bit better.
Does
We're
cooled
pretty
have
rural.
to be shipped on like an airplane?
Yeah, like
Oh.
it's, it needs to be somewhere pretty quickly.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just cold. It's not froze.
Yeah.
With the liquid nitrogen, like here, I'll show you. So I have all my tanks in here. So this is my big tank that I'll fill all my little tanks with. And then this is like our storage. So we'll store, I'll store some of my client studs in here that I'm freezing. Like if I'm freezing a stud for another client. And then, I have my log. Every time we take straws out, we ship them out. And then that just is that tank's like most of the studs that we're currently collecting and breeding. So is this one. This is a bunch of like old, ranch studs from the 80s and 90s.
So how long can frozen semen stay good?
If you could keep your tanks full of nitrogen, is good for like 50,000 years.
Oh,
so, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's pretty stable.
Is
Good?
it difficult to keep the tanks like?
No, so they deliver me the big tank like every couple weeks, and I just top everything off, make sure, and then I use that in the freezing process also. So I pretty much have nitrogen here all the time.
That's awesome.
And fill tanks and freeze with it. So they deliver it just on a truck here.
Okay.
Paulo, you can do these too.
So Paulo's a little new to the ranch.
Yeah, so
right?
Paulo, he's from Brazil. He's been helping me up here.
Heck yeah.
Doing all these mares. Where's you have yours?
Little bit of a weather change
Yeah.
for Paulo.
He likes it here though. He's gonna stay with me through the winter and no.
You're tough, Paulo.
He's like, how bad is the winter there? I said, well, you just gotta put more clothes on. But it's doable.
I say you guys are pretty tough because I heard you had some negative 30.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty a few times. Like in January there was a week it was not pleasant. Like it was all day, every day just to get out and make sure that the mares had water. And hi, Kenny. How's it going?
Good.
You're the man I was looking for.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, really.
The man.
I got to make cards on those mares. Let me finish these shots, and then, are you in a hurry?
Nope.
Okay. You ain't got anywhere to be in this rainstorm?
We got stuck in the mud.
Did my dad get stuck?
Yeah, we can go check on it.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's getting pretty soft. There will be a lot of Southerners probably needing pulled out, I'm guessing.
Glad it wasn't this wet when I unloaded last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sand gets deep and it gets wet and soft.
I guess we were shocked that it could get muddy. We thought it would just keep sinking.
It will, but it'll absorb fast. Who did you
Okay.
do? This one?
First.
You did her?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're taking all the mares from their holding pens, running them into the stocks to give them their shots.
I did Svetlana. Do the black mare.
So is the big reason to AI so that you can get it done sooner and more horses?
So for
Is it
us,
safer?
so for example, like Metallic Casanova or Dukes and Divas, we breed a lot of mares to those horses. They couldn't physically in a natural environment. In a natural environment, like the horses that we pasture breed, they will breed 28 to 30 mares. Like,
That's all they could do?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's about what they can handle naturally.
And how many do you think Dukes and Diva
So,
breeds
like
a
Diva,
year?
we might have 70, 80 mares. Casanova will probably have 150. So, I mean, they just physically couldn't breed that many in a natural state. So, that's typically why we will AI those.
Are Diva and Casanova very potent studs?
Yeah, they're good.
So that they can handle
Pretty much
that?
all the ones that we're AIing are potent enough. Bambi, last one.
Okay. So this is Bambi.
Yes. Bambi.
I've heard about her.
She was, so I roped on her at the Patriot down in Fort Worth. Dad also has roped on her a lot.
That's awesome.
She's a pretty nice rope horse now / broodmare.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah. All right, Colin, they can go. So yeah, so mostly like Mia Browbeater, Dukes and Divas, Metallic Casanova, they'll all be our Favorable Intentions.
Okay.
Those are our ones that we'll AI mostly. And then obviously like we have Coco, which is a stud that Colin's been showing. He's a Studer owns him. He's still getting shown, so we'll AI him just because he's on the show trail.
So then that lets him still show.
Correct. And then I'm going to try to also like freeze some on him just so we have some on hand. But he's a nice stud, but he's still getting shown. So, you know, he's just not going to be here all the time to like kick him out with mares.
Yeah.
Most of the other ones will pasture breed. Honestly, I mean, they do well in a natural environment. So if they have less than 30 mares, and it's just less manpower. Like this takes a lot of manpower to do all this.
Yeah, you got a crew here helping.
Yeah, we have no life in the summer. So I have no life from like April till August.
Well, probably all year round because I know you guys are always checking mares.
But it's the summer. It's like we start at daylight, we end at night. It's just pretty involved.
Would you say...
So this is an old Joe Song mare. We're going to try to get a Casanova baby.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Some of these mares are maybe on their last, you know, hopefully baby. We'll see. This one here, she's 26 years old. She's had some nice stud colts for me. She's
awesome.
going to
She looks great.
Yeah, she's
for 26.
actually going to my two-song Eddie horse. But I don't want to kick her out to pasture because she's older. I want to be able to take care of her. So
in some ways, it's a little safer for the older ones.
I can just keep her. She doesn't travel well. Her and the old Joe Song mare. Like I want to keep them close where I can be draining them, and they're just not going to go out in the hills. You know? They just need a little special care.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. This seems like it's going pretty smoothly. They kind of know the drill.
They know the drill.
Yeah.
Like I said, most of these...
They don't mind it.
They've been worked with.
That's awesome.
Well, the other man I was looking for. They both showed up. Huh?
In which movie?
I did her. Lutalyse, yeah.
So what's the Regumate?
So Regumate is it's like a progesterone. So that kind of tricks the mare into thinking that she is in foal. So she won't, it makes them time up their cycle.
Okay.
So you could also use it after the mare has been bred to maintain pregnancy.
Okay.
But that's how, like, when you're trying to time up a mare to breed, you do the progesterone. We do like a 10-day regimen, and then we'll do their Lutalyse shots or short cycle them and then come back in and then breed them. So like with the frozen or just like these older mares, maybe if their progesterone levels are low, like when they ovulate, we can check their progesterone, and then if they need supplemented, till the placenta takes over and can give them some of that, we'll supplement it with the Regumate.
And that's just a feed?
Yeah, you could squirt it in their mouth, put it on their feed. We just feed it with their feed ration every day so everybody gets their dose.
Okay.
There are also injectable forms. There's compounded forms that you can utilize, you know, where you might give it like once a week as opposed to like putting on their feed. Paula, just her?
And then this, what you're given today, is going to like actually bring them into
this will
cycle.
basically make them like about Tuesday, Wednesday, they'll be ready to go.
Okay.
Grandma got surprised. Okay. Yep.
Sweet.
So like this mare, she had fluid on her uterus, so Paulo and I flushed her and infused her. So some of these mares were like maybe mares that had problems last year, meaning maybe they had fluid or something, infection. Some of them are just older mares that anatomically maybe aren't the best.
Yeah.
So we're trying to just get them to where they'll get in full.
Yeah. So do you guys do the embryo transfers here?
We don't do it here currently. We've like Ashley Teen down in Kansas. She's been doing some there, like flushing them, and she can vitrify there. So we've been sending some to her. My teacher down in Texas, David Riddle, that's who I kind of learned a lot of this stuff from. He does a lot down there. So you know, it's and he actually has a ICSI lab even there, which is kind of cool if you're, you know.
So ICSI is like IVF or
yeah, I mean kind of. So they go in and they will aspirate those and then you know, do them that way.
Okay.
It's kind of neat. We do a little of that stuff. We don't have a facility here to do it. I'm not saying I won't do any embryo transfer down the road, but I have enough going on just with the frozen and
Yeah.
breeding as many as we have.
A lot of this stuff you guys do, a lot of people need vets to do. So you're a little bit like the horse vet around here.
Yeah, it's kind of, we have a vet, Dr. Terry Bridgman, that comes and helps us with things if we need veterinary services.
Okay.
Most of the breeding and things we can do here, just from experience.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of experience. How long has Pitzer's been breeding mares?
So Dad, Mom, and I were actually just out in Vegas. We got our 50-year breeder award
That's
at the
awesome.
convention, in March. So that was kind of fun. They had a nice banquet there that we went and did. But we've actually, that's just like our personal one, like the Brinkman family, the ranch, quote unquote, has been probably closer to like 75 years.
That's
so,
cool.
It's
Yeah.
been a while.
Yeah.
I haven't been alive that long. But
That's awesome. So then you're just cleaning it with a little bit of alcohol, rubbing alcohol.
my wife did it.
Nice. You might have told me already, but what's this gray mare?
So she's actually running bred. So
Oh,
that was
okay.
one of Dad's mares that she's like a fancy running bred mare. I'm not exactly sure. I'll probably have it wrong. I don't know a lot about the running bred stuff.
Yeah.
But, it's like an apolitical Jess, I believe, something like
Okay.
that. Like a pretty well known.
And who's she gonna be crossed on?
So she is Down and Dash.
Oh, okay.
That stud, the older stud that we had
Okay.
here. He's gone now, but we have Frozen on him,
Okay.
so she's getting bred to him. I can't remember if she's apolitical Jess. I don't know. He has several of those, but
Okay.
anyways, there's
Yeah.
a few.
So the frozen's nice too, because even after a stud passes,
he's gone.
you can breed.
So if they were born prior to 2015, you can use their semen, like they're kind of grandfathered in basically. If they were born after 2015, you have 2 years to use up that frozen semen.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's like how the current rules
Okay.
are, unless it changes, which it
Do
can
you
change
know
all the
why
time.
they would do that?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I guess why? Maybe just because we need to try to get better genetics as
Okay.
opposed to just always breeding the same things.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like if everybody just bred 2-eyed jacks forever, we would have no progression of the breed.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
it makes people have to create new, hopefully better horses.
Yeah. Okay.
Not saying that they're better, but I don't know.
I know. Two-eyed Jack's pretty cool,
Yeah.
but she's had some pretty cool babies.
We've had, if you always bred the same thing, there's
Yeah.
never any differentiation in the breed.
Yeah.
So it
That's
just
true.
makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure when they made that rule. I know it was like up for discussion because I sat through all the stud book meetings this year at convention and just listened, because I'm just a member. I'm not like in any of that, but I sat and listened. I feel like it was good information and
Yeah.
just to see like the whole process and how members are represented like within the meetings and things. And I know they were discussing it, but the rule just stayed that way. So they go through it every year. It could change at any time. So let's fill out cards.
Ready?
Yep.
So Kenny brought some mares
Yeah,
up to
so
be
we're gonna check
bred.
Kenny in.
Yeah.
Kenny, you're gonna be Insta famous. Insta famous? Is that a thing?
You're gonna be famous, Kenny.
That's just what I want.
Here. Paula, would you
So this is, you fill out cards to make
So-
sure Kenny's mares get.
You know what? These could go back to pen 1. You don't have to do it while it's like torrentially downpouring if you don't want to, but at some point.
Okay, we'll walk them back there.
Thank you. All right, Kenny. So I'll walk you through the process. So yes, just that pen. Paulo knows where they go. So when they come in, if they're new and they're what we call an outside mare, meaning like a mare that a client is bringing in to have bred to one of the studs, we fill out a card here. So Kenny has 3 mares, looks like that you dropped off?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to make 3 cards for his mares, and we're going to put Kenny.
So this is how you stay organized.
This is how we stay organized. There's a lot of record keeping, which my sister-in-law Kendra does most of the books and kind of that type of thing because she has little kids at home and she has the ability to do all that on the computer. But we still make cards here. We have like a whole computer database where she enters all of it and kind of backs it up, and then we fill out these like at the stocks. It's just easier because like when they ovulate, I could write like, you know, ovulated.
Yeah.
Maybe I had to treat her if she was infected, infuse her, whatever. So it's just nice to have like a physical copy. Plus, if our internet is not great or something.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got?
What do you want?
I don't care. Just start with one.
So is this when Kenny's going to decide what stud they're
Yes.
bred
So
to
Kenny is
also?
going to tell me what he wants to breed to here, and then I will tag them
Okay.
with a neck tag, because they will get turned out with the herd.
Okay.
So typically, if they're like, he may have one. Do you have a BJ? Are you doing a BJ? Is that what I heard?
This one. Yeah.
So this mare is going to BJ, which is Semen, Kendra, and Benny's stud. So it's going to get bred naturally. It will go out to the pasture. So we'll put a collar on it because a lot of these are not branded like ours.
Yeah.
So we need to have an
Okay.
identification. And you know, when we go out there, like we can't remember 400 horses. Like
Yeah.
you have to have some kind of identification. So
So I know Kenny has nice mares.
Kenny has nice mares.
Are for people that want to come and breed, because you guys stand to the public, is there a process they would go through, or
Yeah, so like
need
with
to
Casanova,
contact you guys?
we have like a contract, just
Okay.
a basic breeding contract. It's nothing crazy that they do when they drop a mare off. You can fill it out online. Casanova has like a special one because we just have more owners with him. So, you know, but they basically fill that out, pay the stud fee. If they're doing frozen, they pay a frozen fee, like per straw. If they're doing just natural, it's just the stud fee, basically. So, yeah.
the more they need to breed, they might need to do
Yes.
frozen?
Yeah, I mean, like for example, if so, like for my stud Tucson Eddie, like I'm kicking him out with a set of mares. But if someone shows up after May 10th, those mares have already been kicked out, and you don't want to add a mare once he has his group, because a lot of times
I
they'll
didn't know
fight
that.
them off. They're very herd-oriented animals. So if they don't have it here by May 10th when we kick out, then we could potentially breed it here with frozen. So like I've been freezing semen on Eddie. If someone brings one after the 10th, you know, I can just breed it with frozen. Otherwise, you know, you don't want to mess with their herd. Once you kick them out, that's your set for the year.
Okay.
They don't get added to.
Okay.
Well, here. Some people
Yeah.
do, we don't.
And when they have that herd, are the studs pretty good about when babies are born?
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't mess with the
I mean, no,
babies?
not really. As long as it's one of their herd mares. Like if
Okay.
you tried to add one and she foaled, they might try to run it off.
Okay.
Yeah. But they're, I mean, that's just how they are in nature. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just, nature can be harsh sometimes. Like they
The
don't.
natural selection.
Well,
And
She's wet, yeah.
All
then I
right.
have one more question about cost.
Yes.
Cost-wise, is it more cost-effective to AI or pasture breed? Is there a big
Well, pasture
difference?
breeding is the cheapest because it's the most natural. Like
Okay.
they're not getting drugs administered. Ooh.
I don't know. We got some thunder.
They also, you know, don't have feed bill as high because we're not having to feed them grain and alfalfa. You know, they're just on natural grass. So that's your cheapest as
Okay.
far as like input to getting a baby, definitely. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get a Mac, 2 Macs, and a BJ. So then I come in here. So Mac is red.
Oh, this is cool.
So he's going to get 2 Mac collars. We're going to be 9 and 10 for Kenny. And then BJ is going to be yellow
Okay.
because he's a pasture stud. So this is Mac, this is Casanova, this is Diva, this is Favorable Intentions, Bam Bam, and then just random whatever else pasture stud ones.
Okay.
So then I write this on the card, so while they're out in the pasture, I have a record of who's who. So Mac, we're going to be 10 red. So all the Macs are red. We color code them, that way when we're out there we can see them run by us and know who is who. And then we've got BJ, who is 7 yellow.
Cool.
And then we'll go put them on. Bag them and
Okay.
tag them.
Nice.
Yeah. Which I guess you were just asking about, like how the difference between like AIing versus frozen. So with AIing, we will collect the stud out here, and then let's say that day we teased all the mares, all few hundred of them, and there's 80 of them that we get in that acted in heat, like showing signs of heat. Then we will palpate those mares, and then we will check follicles on those mares, determine who's ready. And then out of those, we will see, how many are to Mac, how many are to Diva, how many are to Casanova. And then we will separate those out. So let's say we have 10 getting bred to Mac that day. So we'll take that semen, we'll extend it with a cooled extender that they do well in. Typically, we kind of know which extenders they do well in. And then we will extend it out to 10 mares because we're breeding 10 that day to him. So his one big collection dose, is getting divided between 10 mares.
Okay.
So that's why you can breed more, whereas in a pasture, if that 10 mares are in heat to him, he's probably going to be pretty tired by the end of the day.
Yeah.
Probably not going to do 10 mares in one day. So that's kind of how we just do AI. So it's basically just extending it out amongst multiple mares so he doesn't have to work so hard. And then with frozen, we would collect him, we would come in, I would extend the semen with the cooled extender, and then I'll centrifuge it down. So I put it in the centrifuge, 20 minutes in there, it will spin it down, and then all of your sperm cells will make a little sperm pellet down at the bottom. So it kind of separates that from the supernatant, which is the stuff on the top. And then we just aspirate that off, take your little sperm pellet, and then we will then also have determined which semen extender, freezing extender, that they survive well in. So then you will extend it again with a freezing extender. Okay. And that freezing extender, there's different ones. Some of them are like designed to, they're like sperm food, basically. They help it survive the freezing process so you have less cellular death. So I'll centrifuge it down, do the freezing extender, and then I slowly freeze it. So we'll go to the fridge, then we'll go to a vapor cool, then we will submerge it in the liquid nitrogen.
What's the vapor cool?
It just hovers above the nitrogen, so it's just the vapor. So you do 20 minutes like per step, basically. So I mean, it's a process.
And it's like once you start, you can't quit.
No.
Like that day, you got to make sure you get
do it.
the process done.
You've got to follow all the steps. We'll look at it. We'll check motility. We'll do sperm count, obviously, motility, all of that, and then when you're done, then you cut a straw open, thaw it, check it, and make sure that it survived the freezing process well. And then if one of them doesn't, you start changing your variables. So maybe you centrifuge it differently. Maybe you use a different extender. Maybe you use a cushion. Maybe you do different times, different G-force, different minutes. Subtract a minute, add a minute. It gets to be kind of an experiment at that process. So some studs...
Sounds like a science project.
Yes, it is a science project. Some studs are really simple. Like my stud, Eddie, that I was telling you about. I could just do him textbook, super easy. Mm-hmm. And then we have one, it's like this day, they're temperamental.
Yeah.
So those are a little harder to freeze. They're not going to have maybe the freezability as some studs do. So
I think yesterday we were kind of talking about the centrifuge, and you said some that can kind of mess with the sperm.
Yeah, it can kill some of them.
Okay.
Some of them don't survive that process.
So that
you may extend it a little differently. You may try a different extender.
And what is the extender? Is that the material that goes?
Yeah, so it's basically like we use INRA. That one's pretty common.
Oh, okay.
I also will try some Bo2 Gold or Bo2 Specials. They're just all different types. Mm-hmm. And some sperm just do better in one versus the other. And then I have my freezing extender up here that has to be frozen. So there's different ones again, there's MFR5, Easy Freeze. There's also the Bo2 Creo.
So that's what's going in the straw?
So that's what's actually going to go in the straw and help it survive being in the nitrogen.
Do you have to change
what will centrifuge in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have to change the straws sometimes, or are those pretty simple?
No, the straws are, I'll show you what they look like. So here are, this is Coco. This is that stud of Studers that we're showing right now.
Okay.
So I'm going to freeze him.
So it's got his name and all his stuff.
One individual straw. It's got his name and registration number on it.
Okay.
And then you just freeze them in that.
Okay.
And then when you go to breed them, you cut that, and then you put it in your pipette and do your deep horn and put it right up there.
And so how many straws would you say are typically needed to breed one mare?
We do an 8 straw dose here.
Okay.
So it's like 50 million cells per milliliter is kind of the goal that we try to. You know, some studs are better than others, so you may need more straws or less depending on the stud. If you have a
Okay.
really potent stud, you could probably breed a mare with 4 or maybe less.
Okay.
You know? Just depends
Is
on...
more better just so there's more chances?
Yeah, more that might swim up there and get to the egg.
Okay.
Get to the egg.
And what is this machine over there?
This?
The big brown
This?
one.
This is just our warmer, so
Oh, okay.
we keep things at
cool.
body temperature.
Okay.
So is this. So like before you put things in the mare, you like to have it at like 37 Celsius. That's kind of like the temperature where they're happy. It's their body
Okay.
temperature. You know, you're not putting something real cold and irritable in there.
Yeah.
So we warm everything before we put it in the mare.
Okay.
And water bath just for like we don't want to put an extender straight from the fridge, you know, so
Oh,
we want to get it
yeah.
to body temperature.
Okay.
It's just more comfortable for the mare. You know.
Yeah.
Cold makes them I don't like cold.
Yeah.
I like body temperature. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is the AV. This is what we collect the studs in.
Okay.
Here.
What's this machine?
This is the semen counter. So this is
Oh.
a densimeter sperm counter. So this is what you...
Okay.
You has a little deal here. You put a little cuvette in there.
Okay.
Semen
Cool.
in the formalin, and then it computes your sperm count basically.
So you're counting how many sperm per something.
Yeah. Yep.
And then
So
you're also counting how mobile they are, how they
'cause
move
you want
around.
a high sperm count, and you want sperm that are like swimming. You know,
Swimmers.
Yeah. If they're
Okay.
swimming like this, then they probably won't get there. So,
Okay.
Yep. Or if they're dead, obviously, sometimes they'll just have dead cells.
Okay.
So you know that's how we compute that. But
Would you say that this stuff is changing the breeding game for
it allows
the
people to breed more mares to like the higher maybe demand studs, you know, and it probably allows people to get more mares pregnant than back in the day because they could only put 30 mares with their stud in a natural situation.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like it helps. And plus, I mean, our horse numbers have been so low, you know, so just with the supply and demand.
Yeah,
When the
that's
prices
true.
are high, the supply is low. So
Yeah.
people are doing a lot more AI to try to get more horses out there again.
And then I feel like I'm seeing a lot of embryo transfer stuff going on. Do you think that's going to get even bigger, or is that like?
I mean,
a
yeah,
bigger
probably.
process?
I mean, there's just more and more science as we become more advanced, you know, just like with embryo transfer and doing ICSI and things. I mean, I feel like that's just going to continue to probably grow as we get more and more experienced people out there doing it. And it allows you to have a nice mare that maybe you're showing and you don't want to take the time to give her a year off to breed and have a foal, or you don't want the risk. Maybe she's some $1 million mare, you know. I mean, do you want her to have a baby, or do you just want to flush her embryos and put them in a recip and let her have the risk? So, you know, there's that component where it allows you to have maybe a higher quality mare that you don't want to run the risk of breeding. So,
Okay.
or you just don't want to take the time because you're showing her,
Yeah.
or competing on her or something. So,
Yeah.
and you can get more foals and, you know, just not have the risk.
Yeah. Is there a big cost in storing all the semen?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big cost, I would say. I mean, you got to buy your tanks, obviously, and then I have nitrogen delivered every couple weeks. But like for example, if I'm just storing a client's stud for them, it's $65 a month.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's not a huge expense, but I mean, it's an expense, but
the cost probably outweighs
yeah,
the
I mean,
reward
saves
of
them
having
having to go buy a big tank and keep it supplied with nitrogen and
Yeah.
check your nitrogen every week, and just, you know, it's easy just to have somebody else store it. And a lot of places will just store semen for you. I mean, you could
Okay.
go to like a full semen storage place,
Okay.
or you could buy your own tank and fill it yourself and store it at home.
How often do they have to be filled with the liquid
So
nitrogen?
some of the tanks are like 11 to 12 weeks. Some of them are 18 weeks.
Okay.
They're all different. I just check them every week. I don't like to
risk
I
it.
don't want to have something die.
That would not be good.
Yeah, and I keep a little log here, like the last time.
Okay.
So I filled all these tanks on 420. I put like how many centimeters nitrogen I put in it, and then it gives me an idea which of these tanks are potentially like ones that run out quicker, because this newer tank may hold longer than that old tank. So I tend to like use these to pour out of if I need to just pour nitrogen or something, but I'm not storing like important semen in them. Then we have just like our transport tanks like these. We have our shipping tanks.
Okay.
So they all have different jobs, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for explaining the AI process.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
While we were inside filming, we got a little bit of weather. Got my high sea boots on. Keeping our feet dry. Pretty cool of Sarah to let me mic her up and take us along all the breeding action that just goes on day to day. I'm sure it changes every day, but it was cool to see a sneak peek of today. If you guys are interested in breeding your mares to any Pitzer studs, they do stand to the public. You can go on to pitzerranch.net and find more info, or comment below and I'll give you their phone number. But that's a fun little behind the scenes. If you guys enjoy this stuff, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll catch you on the next one.